Welcome to an all-new Lay It On Me. Allow me to lay it on you. We have to go back and talk a little bit more about the Asmongold situation that we talked about yesterday. Because apparently, according to a lot of people who showed up in my comment section yesterday, believe that my reporting on the situation was not fair. And that A, there are some viewpoints that I did not include, and B, apparently some of the things that Asmongold said I may have misconstrued. And yeah. In case you guys missed it, yesterday I talked about Asmongold officially being canceled, okay? Canceled in quotations because no one is truly canceled. It's kind of just the same. But yeah, if you kind of look at the like-dislike ratio, your boy had over 1,000 people come in here and say, nah, homie, this video wasn't it. And I don't agree and support with you. I don't know if those are people who are my current subscribers, or I don't know if these are people coming in from the outside in, but I'm not quite used to making videos where people, you know, even dislike the video this much. It does get me thinking, was there something that I missed? Now look, some of you guys know me. You've been around here for a while. You've been around the block. You know how I do things. And some of you don't. You have no idea who the hell I am. I don't think that I am the smartest person in the room just because I have a platform to speak, okay? In fact, the more I read and learn, the more I realize how uneducated and stupid I truly am. But when it comes to reporting and talking about news and commentary and everything, one thing that I always aim to try to do at all times through all the jokes and all the funs and the laughs and the hee and ha-has is I try to be fair and I try to be objective. I try to give you guys the full 411 and not just specific information from one side. So just, you know, that's the one thing I would say my golden rule is that I attempt to do that. I won't always hit the mark, but yeah, that's what I always try to do. So instead of just stating my piece and just brushing off thousands of people who disagree, I've decided to attempt to listen and, you know, add a little bit more context and allow you guys at home to see the full story as opposed to particularly just one side that a lot of people felt was disclosed. So first we'll start with Twitter. Okay, I asked you guys a question here, but I'll go back and actually look at a few YouTube comments as well that were kind of highly rated as well that people felt like was deserving of being added into the conversation. Where I said it seems like the dividing point about the whole Asmongold situation is that some people believe he was referring to Palestinians, Arabs, being inferior, thus making his remarks racist. Others believe he was talking about the culture specifically. What are y'all's take? On the off chances you missed everything that happened yesterday, okay? Asmongold made a statement when he was talking with Hassanabi on stream where he stated that he would not, quote, cry a river, end quote, for the people killed in the region because, quote, they come from an inferior culture, end quote. That is, quote, directly anti-ethical to everything Western values stand for. And also that he does not feel bad or he will not cry a river when a certain group of people are currently being genocided. He does not feel bad about the situation whatsoever. So I'm going to sift through these really fast. And by the way, just as a preface, okay, I don't hate Asmongold. There's not been like a type of situation where I'm like, I hate Asmongold and he's garbage doo-doo butter, okay? I don't really hate people per se. There's only one person that I really hate, and that's that black dude that's always dancing, like the big guy that's dancing, the groove dude. I don't like that guy. I want to bully him. He's the only person on the internet that I hate. But when it comes to like hating people, I really don't have the time or energy for that. Okay, I might disagree with you. I might not like you kind of situation, but it's not personal whatsoever. Anyway, Mighty keeps saying that both of those conclusions are bad. Okay, saying that the distinction between talking about a specific race, aka Arabs and Palestinians, is exactly the same as talking about the culture as well. You can't have one without the other because culture is ingrained with the identity of the race that's there. Here's somebody who supports Asmongold saying all the people saying, quote, you can't say another culture is inferior are omega coping because I guarantee you none of them would voluntarily choose to live in Palestine or any other Islamic country for that matter, primarily because of the cultural differences. Asmongold's comments were very poorly worded, but I get where he's coming from. There is an undeniable element of Jew hatred that is present in Palestinian society. There have been scholarly works written about it. So to say that they have genocide written into their culture is not an incorrect statement, and I think that alone makes their culture inherently worse, even though I could cite other reasons why their culture is worse. As always, leftists are afraid to criticize Islam. The same people who will jump at any opportunity to criticize Christianity have nothing to say when it comes to the topic of Islamic culture. We have someone directly here from the Islam Pill saying, what is Sharia? Sharia is the Islamic idea of God's laws. It literally means the way to the watering hole or flowering spring. It governs aspects of everyday life in Islam and religious rituals. There are 5 objectives of the Sharia: the preservation of human life, the preservation of faith, the preservation of intellect, the preservation of property, and the preservation of family. This take here comes from an actual Palestinian by the name of Nadir. He said, as a Palestinian and as a usual watcher of his content, I felt it was very insulting either way. I'm pretty sure he meant culture overall, but even if he did, he is very misinformed. alarmed about the culture. A lot of Palestinians are very welcoming people, and it was very surprising to hear, in which someone else said, the anti-Islamic dogma runs deep here after 9/11, and IG bro drank the Kool-Aid instead of actually experiencing said culture. I'm not surprised though, he never goes outside. So yeah, an actual Palestinian who was also a supporter and usual watcher of Asmongold kind of chiming in here and be like, damn bro, I'm one of your peoples, man, and you talking about me and my culture. You don't care if I got genocided? That's kind of wild. This person here said that both takes are literally fascism and pulled up a Wikipedia article saying that fascism right here is characterized by dictatorial leaders, centralized autocracy, militarism, belief in a natural social hierarchy. And then the next page underlined here, nationalism often manifests as a belief in racial purity or as a master race, usually bended with some variant of racism or discrimination against the demonized other. And these ideas have motivated fascist regimes, and talks about the concept of genocide. Young Banana Bread said he literally said the word culture, so yeah, he's talking about the culture apparently. Even though I think he's right about the culture, I wouldn't want to live in that culture, it doesn't mean their lives are valueless. We got another viewer of Asmongold here saying Zach definitely has some issues, but I believe he's definitely talking about the culture and not the people. That's what my takeaway was, and I'm honestly surprised people see it as him advocating for innocents to be killed. Granted, I'm just a viewer who can't truly know the streamer I watch, but I'm being honest when I say I think people are taking what he said in a negative light because they already don't like him for whatever reasons they have, like his dirty room. Another person by the name of Wind Up Hero said, I watched the 3-hour interview he did with Hassan, and he definitely conflated the two. He acted like he was more educated about things when he was clueless and couldn't come to see how people could be sympathetic of genocide, even if that culture / religion / group would, quote, hate you. Last one. This is a train of thought from my homie Jorbs. Jorbs is my favorite Twitch streamer, by the way. I watch him almost daily for like the past 3 years. Streams stay inspired, pretty smart guy as well. So I was very inclined to hear what he had to say about the subject. He said, why would that be dividing when we're talking about specifically the culture and the race? Thinking another culture is inferior is also racist. And then I replied, I said, that's what I'm trying to understand. From the comment section of my video, a lot of people keep saying there's a distinction and that they are not the same, but to me, they're interrelated. I've always, culture and races kind of are like one and the same, because when you're talking about a specific country's culture, usually predominantly there's one specific kind of race that resides there. George then links a Wikipedia here to ethnocentrism. Okay, ethnocentrism is a social science, anthropology, as well as a colloquial English discourse. Means to apply one's own culture or ethnicity as a frame of reference to judge other cultures, practices, behaviors, beliefs, and people, instead of using the standards of the particular culture involved. Since this judgment is often negative, some people also use the term to refer to the belief that one's culture is superior to, or more correct or normal than, all others, especially regarding the distinctions that define each ethnicity's cultural identity, such as language, behavior, customs, and religion. I think the religion here they're speaking about is the Islamic one. But then he links to a reference here, an article saying, is it racism, the belief in cultural superiority across Europe? Are Europeans racist if they maintain that some cultures are superior? Question mark. This is why I like to talk with people who are more educated and knowledgeable about the subject, because I would have never been able to direct you guys to these things. Again, I will completely state that I am not the man to come to when it comes to all things, when it comes to information. That's why I try to give you guys information, tell you my point of view and dip. But also, as a person who feels uneducated about the subject, I like to talk with people who are more educated, and you guys can get the information from them and then make your, assumptions or your judgments or your conclusions. Because again, I don't claim to be smarter than anybody. In fact, I claim to be not as smart as most people. The biggest line item here being that the present research suggests that although a belief in cultural superiority may harbor different views, expressed beliefs in cultural superiority and cultural concerns are strongly associated with traditional racism. Another point them saying, although the present research argues that it is reasonable to make a conceptual distinction between a belief in cultural superiority and racism, the two can still be intertwined, which can only be demonstrated by empirical analysis. So, funny enough, that was kind of my viewpoint, okay? It seems like my viewpoint was also matched with what a scholar had to say. But yeah, no. I felt like when it comes to talking about the cultural differences, you can't really avoid talking about the race as well. It felt intertwined and interrelated to me. And yeah, these scholars, apparently a whole bunch of them all agree with it, okay? Maybe there's some scholars who don't agree with it, but I'm just pointing you out to the scholars, okay? Don't come at me. Come at the scholars, the people who study this stuff, okay? But anyway, back to Jorbs. He said, common sense say that someone being negatively ethnocentric about another culture is being racist. He also said, if you're going to analyze a culture via ethnocentrism, which is already a pretty bad thing to do, you would have to actually look at facts about the culture. Asmon didn't do that. He repeated negative talking points. That part is just straight racist. Let's finish up this train of thought. Someone else jumped in here and said, hey, yo, super quick question because I'm trying to come to terms with my own opinions. We make judgments on what we view as right or wrong. What are we allowed to do in regards to other cultures? Is it a case-by-case thing? Because it feels really weird and racist to say my culture is better than yours, which can extend pretty easily into my group. I am better than you, which isn't the case. Is it a correlation of beliefs with worth? That is the issue. Jorb's saying the big problem is speaking about another culture as though you're an authority on it and applying your belief of what is better to other people. I enjoy being from the culture I'm from. I like it. That doesn't qualify me to comment on other cultures or mean that I don't like them. So in part, it's also an ignorance issue. That makes a lot of sense. I'm not fully sure I can agree that we cannot apply our personal standards to other people, but the logic there can get really circular, so it's something to be careful about. Thanks. And then Jorb said, hey, I mean, you can do those things. You can be judgmental or prejudiced or racist, up to you whether you want to do that or not. Lastly, let's go to some of the YouTube comments, some of the things that you guys left me here, because it seems like a lot of the places here on Twitter were very, anti-Asmongold. I didn't see a lot of support from him there. I saw a lot of support from him definitely in the YouTube comments here, and I believe there was a lot of support from him on Reddit as well. So again, to cover and get as many signs as possible here and many viewpoints to have this dialogue and this conversation, for the sake of being fair, your boy is trying to share what people are thinking. So this person with 911 likes, don't do it. Don't do it, all right? Are we still pretending Islam is a race and not a religion, okay? And then someone replied, yeah, that was confusing me too. I'm only 3 minutes in so far, but it seemed like Asmon was talking about how people that follow Islam specifically. So I was confused as to why people were calling him racist. To call him bigoted would be more accurate, all right? The bigoted is the word that people are saying is what he's basically definitely doing, because he's claiming that he is superior to another culture. Someone else down here is saying exactly my thoughts. Asmon is talking about the culture and their beliefs, not their race. And of course, people are twisting it to make it about race, either due to being disingenuous and malicious or stupid. Culture does not equal race. Again, so we just read the whole scholar thing that talks about how race is kind of included with culture, but then there's a lot of people who will be like, no, I don't agree with that. Culture is not race. There's a clear distinction and it's not related. This seems to be the place where people are parking themselves and saying the reason why Asmongold is not racist because he's only talking about a culture and they're just not the same thing. I think that's, again, one of the biggest divides that I've seen in this comment section so far. The person said he's going to get unbanned in a couple days and we go back to where we are and we forget about this. Edit, release my homie Asmon. And I replied and I said, yes. So this is exactly what's going to happen. No matter what happens, when I put canceled in quotations, I don't quite literally mean like cancel, like he's going to lose sponsorships or whatever. Like Asmongold is going to be fine. I think somebody had made a comment somewhere where basically said, Asmongold said, you can't really get canceled unless your audience doesn't agree with your viewpoint, right? So if there's enough people who support what you believe, then no matter what happens to you, you will have the support kind of thing. I guess you could argue that about Andrew Tate. I don't know if you considered him canceled since he's just been banned off every type of platform. But yeah, I can kind of agree with the concept. Cancellation definitely has to do with whether or not you have an audience and a big enough one that's going to follow you regardless of what your stance is and if they agree. I kind of agree with that. Another person said, I actually had to do a double take when I heard, quote, I don't care that they're getting killed and inferior. Holy crap. I feel like, again, and a lot of people were, this was the part that I was like, bro, this is absolutely wild. Okay, to say that you do not care that freaking hundreds of thousands or millions of people are being genocided, you don't care that women and children are just dying for existing. That's bro, that's kind of wild. That's kind of scary. That's a scary thing to say. I think no matter if you support Asmongold or not, you have to agree to say that you don't care about genocide. That's a very, very dangerous statement in my opinion. And throwing around the word inferior and superior, okay? Also, you got to be careful with that as well, homies, all right? I mean, if y'all feel that, but again, be careful, because that is a line that definitely gets easily meshed into discrimination and racism. Someone else said he made a video proclaiming to be a sociopath and lives like a disciple of Nurgle. Asmongold does not care. Nothing you say will affect him. The money means nothing to him. He probably doesn't even hold any view that strongly or seriously. Everybody interacts with him or talks about him like he's just like everyone else. He clearly isn't. The new thing online, I guess, is blowing up voices from people who are far away from representing the normal human experience as possible. That's an interesting thing. And I think that's also true as well, right? This is all a cycle, okay? Give it a couple of weeks and nobody's going to be talking about or caring about this ever again. Like, the news just runs on cycles. Tomorrow something big is going to happen. The election's going to happen and no one's going to care about what Asmongold said. Maybe he loses some sponsors on this. Maybe some people stop working with him on this. But when it comes to the news cycles now recently, especially this year, it does feel like we're jumping from like crazy moment to crazy moment to crazy moment to crazy moment. But that doesn't take away the significance of what's being said, okay? I think it's still important to isolate the topics, even if there are a lot of topics that are circulating around the news, and try to take as many of them as seriously as possible. We can't care about everything, but it's okay for us to care about the things that matter to us the most. I think there's a lot of people who care about this subject, especially Asmongold viewers, the one who support him and the ones that don't. The animator guy said, I was fully with you there, Omni, until the following timestamp. He didn't say that people are inferior. He said the culture is. He also didn't say they deserve to be genocided. He said he has no sympathy or pity for people who kill others and, quote, get a taste of their own medicine, which was what he was getting at. What he said was terrible and very clearly wrong. He gets shit on and has his own that's on him. However, I don't see any reason in further twisting the words to make the situation look even worse or putting words in someone's mouth that they didn't say what they said. What for? Additional drama content? We are better than doing that. Now, let me just be very clear. I'm not trying to put any words in Asmongold's mouth, okay? He spoke for himself and everyone knows exactly what he said. If I tried to twist it, was not an attempt to just go directly to the video that he said it, right? I showed you the video verbatim, okay, of what he said, all right? So I'm not trying to twist Asmongold's words at all. I don't think I need to, because he said exactly what he said with his chest, and it was a pretty big freaking deal. There's no need for me to say it. What he said was very, very, I want to say, distinct and unique and polarizing. Anyway, here's the last one I'll read. Okay, as someone who's read Sharia law, he's not wrong about Sharia law. That law is inferior to most other laws. However, that doesn't mean genociding people who live under Sharia law is a-okay. One could justify massacring Americans using the same logic if you think abortion is murder. Quote, I don't care about Americans getting genocided. They kill babies. Literally same logic. Obviously, there's a nuance in every culture and detractors, a bad policy within every culture. You should care because wanton destruction is bad, because innocence even in places that have bad laws and culture. Poor judgment on his part. He made Sharia look good even though it's awful because he wasn't thoughtful with his words. Anyway, guys, that's the full story of Asmongold in terms of how people were viewing this situation, not just one side that a lot of people felt that I gave in my prior video. To be completely frank with you guys, I do think this is a little bit above my league, okay? I will say that I might be not as educated enough to be the person to tell you guys what's right or wrong here. In fact, I never try to tell you guys what's right or wrong here. When it comes to the whole concept of, I don't know, culture and racism being split, if it's intertwined or not, I'm not going to sit here and fight with you guys, try to tell you how that works or not, because that's just not the person I am. I'm not really studied or kept up on that. Anyway, regardless if it's racism or culturism, whatever line you want to kind of tread to say what it is or what it's not, okay, I think at a certain point when someone is saying that they don't care about genocide is where we need to be like, yo, bro, that's a little messed up. Like, I feel like the majority of people here can agree, please, that we don't support the concept of genocide towards any kind of group of people out there, right? I mean, unless some of you are out there over here, you know, scratching your Hitler mustache and be like, actually, like, bro, no, I would rather kill less people than more people, please. Again, I'm not here to enforce. I'm not here to tell you what to do or how to live your life, but I would like to give you guys a big scope of the picture and not just half of the pie. Looks like Asmongold has officially responded to the whole situation that's been happening. The video is titled My Plans Moving Forward. It's a 20-minute video. It's got a lot of likes already within 30 minutes, a lot of support. I think it's only going to continue to be that way as well. Very curious to what he has to say. I'm going to go in blind and be as objectively and fair as possible. All right, so let's get into it.
Hey guys, I wanted to talk to you all about what my reason was for getting suspended on Twitch and also what my plans are going forward. I'm going to try and structure this video into two parts, where the first part is going to be me talking about the Twitch suspension, second part is going to be talking about myself. And the first thing I want to start off with is something that I know it might sound a little bit insincere because of how ridiculous this is, but I really mean it, and if you listen to the whole video, I hope you can see why. everybody who's come and spoken out and talked to me and said stuff about me, aside from the, oh, you should kill yourself or something like that, I want to say that I really appreciate you. And I think this has been something that's a long time coming. And I actually think that this is something that not only I deserved, but it's also something that I needed. And I want to talk about what the reason for that is, but I want to start off and just make sure that that's actually very clear.
Just to pause, was not expecting this energy whatsoever. Usually, when Asmongold is talking about, the cancellations or responding to Outbreak or anything like that, my man's is never like this. He's usually a little bit more like, come on, guys. All right, I said what I said, and I meant what I meant 100%. I'm not backing down. If you don't like me, then don't watch me, etc. So his energy is way different from his usual, apology or responses to cancellation videos here. He's being very serious, and I feel like he's being actually genuine and sincere as he is saying that what he's been saying so far. Just basically surprised that this is the energy that he's carrying so far. We'll mend it in. Let's keep going.
So a couple of days ago, I made some comments about Palestine and also about Hamas and, some just general, basically opinions that were trivializing the genocide that's happening there. And I don't really want to mince words or try to oh, I wasn't justifying or, promoting it. I said something about it that was disgusting. I said that I didn't care about innocent people getting killed by another force, by anything. And I think that that's a horrible, disgusting, mean-spirited thing to say. And I don't necessarily think that it was really racist, really. But when I'm using language like Palestinians or the people there, rather than what my real language was, I've always been very outspoken and very against religious extremism.
Okay.
And I still am. I think that any religion and any way of thinking that's going to cause you to put other people in kind of positions below you as gay people, women, people with disabilities, anything like that, I think that that's a really bad position to have.
Good Lord, I am really caught off guard by this. He quite literally said that his comments and his remarks were disgusting. He's not missing words here. Some of you guys might think that maybe he's shielding himself, or maybe he's doing some PR stuff, or maybe he really believes it. I'm not sensing it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being fooled or whatever. It's interesting because a lot of people who support him are going to be like, bro, don't apologize. Bro, you said nothing wrong. Bro, you felt nothing wrong. So it's getting into weird territories, right? Where people are questioning, is it sincere? Is Asmongold truly apologetic? And then will his viewers or supporters actually, feel what he's feeling? Or will they just, force their own feelings onto it, make it a little bit more parasocial relationship of what he actually feels or what he should be feeling? Now we're getting into some freaking muddy waters.
And I think that my problem and my fault here was that I was making a criticism of religious extremism, and I made no effort. And I feel like almost I've rewatched the clip, right? Or a number of the clips. And it's I've almost made an effort not to draw a distinction between the two things. I think that a lot of us here can easily say that we're against religious extremism.
Sure.
And I am. But whenever I categorize everybody in the area as this group, then I'm the asshole. And I was the asshole. I had a lot of you guys tell me that. And it's taken me, this is what's so crazy about it, is that I think this has been going on now for 2 years. I think that I've been slowly devolving into the most mean-spirited, I don't really even know what the word is for it. Just the most mean-spirited, rude, nasty, just callous, psychopathic version of myself.
Good Lord. Okay. The crazy thing about this statement is for the past 2 years, I mean, there's a lot of people who will actually communicate and say that, yeah, maybe they do feel like that. But what Asmongold has been for the past year, for the past 2 years, is exactly why people have been following him, right? It's the energy that he has been saying that he's saying now that is psychopathic, that's mean, that's rude, that's all of it has been him. A part of what he is, this version of himself. And now it feels like he's kind of rejecting it all at once and saying that the past 2 years of himself is the worst version of himself. But the thing that's going to kind of is kind of boggling me a little bit is the Asmongold viewers who love like the past 2 years of Asmongold, who support that, who want it, who believe in it, and who want more for it. Where does that put them now? I'm very curious if he's going to touch on that. So far, and this is all just one take right now, by the way, and I'm coming to get this objectively. I don't sense anything about what he's saying here as insincere so far. He seems like he's just talking off the cuff, off the chest, off the top of his head, and I respect it so far.
I think that I've been devolving into this, and a lot of my friends have told me this. My dad has told me this. He said, you've got to chill out. You've got to calm down. I've been like, oh, that old man doesn't know what he's talking about. And I've finally had some level of accountability for that. And thank God. I look back at some of the things that I've said and done over the past 2 years, and I don't think that I've been wrong about everything, obviously, right? But there have been ways that I've communicated and ways that I've acted that are indefensible. And I think looking back on it, it's just disgusting. And it's something that when you get lost in the sauce and you get fixated around like listening and reading feedback,
yes,
and, just getting hyper fixated, this is like your entire life, you lose a perspective on reality and you lose a perspective on the world.
Okay. And
I think that perspective was brought into perspective yesterday and the day before when I was making comments like this. And, I feel so stupid. It's crazy. So I'm getting all these people making negative comments toward me. Everybody is telling me like, oh, go kill yourself. I hate you. Everything like this. Do you know who reached out to me? And they wanted to talk and have a conversation and see if I was okay. It's people that were Islamic and people that had fucking family in Palestine.
See, that's what I was saying. He had supporters. Palestinian supporters in his comments saying that they was disappointed in him, right? The homies, the Palestinian homies was fans of Asmongold. And even despite some of these remarks that he was dropping that kind of crushed him or destroyed him, he still has like those supporters coming in and be like, hey, I just want to reach out to you, man. Like what you said about me, about us, somebody who cares about you and supports you, that's crushing. That's pretty much soul crushing, and I'm a real person. I'm behind the screen supporting you, bro, and hoping you have your best life. And you're telling me that you hope that my life and the people around me evaporate, or you wouldn't, care if that happened. It would not bother you whatsoever. And I'm sorry for the freeze frame, by the way, but it seems like things are starting to hit into perspective for him. I communicated to you guys very quickly, very often, where I was like, I feel like the part is whether you talk about racism or culturalism, right? We're talking about people just literally dying. We're talking about genocide, and we're talking about innocent people as well. That one, and not caring. If you just want to sit on the fence and just not caring about people just dying, evaporating, innocent people, you just don't care about it, then you can do that. But like, I guess feel like Asmongold is a pretty huge guy with people who support him from all facets of the world. And I think it's starting to kind of kick in that also includes some of the people that he talked negatively about.
How humiliating is that? How absolutely humiliating is that? And these were the people I was trying to say were bad. And
right.
I feel like such a fucking stupid asshole. I really do. I've always been I guess like I've always been kind of like an atheist. And even as a young kid, I was raised Roman Catholic, and I was always very defiant towards it. And
sure, yeah.
I've always had a negative opinion of religion, and I've also had a negative opinion of religious cultures.
Sure, yeah.
And I think that opinion is definitely shaped by the media that I've created, and the media I've created for myself, and then also just the media that exists, the media that I've chosen to seek out as well. And I think that media has allowed me to have certain predispositions and certain biases that the truth is that don't have any sort of relation to what my own real life has been experienced.
The pause. I gotta agree with Asmongold here on this part. I was raised Christian. I had to go to read the Bible and go to Bible school and Bible study on Wednesdays as a kid, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. All I knew was that I was terrified of the devil. That if I did some bad things or whatever, I would go to hell, but I didn't quite really understand it, And then as I got older and saw like the church, And then, saw some of the people that were in the upper hands and some of the evil that was around it. And I started things that didn't make sense. And I got older and older, and I was like, wait, there's a lot of corruption going on here as well. I would say that I still have the faith, but also there was a part of me that felt like, I don't know if I can support this entirely. And then you start getting older and you start realizing how religion can potentially be a way to manipulate, control people as well. You start seeing the negative biases in all this religion. Don't get me wrong. Religion it's absolutely crazy. We can't even go into this concept of talking about religion, right? But if you have a negative view about it based on your upbringing, you might not see that some of the people have more positive views as well, how religion can give people purpose, or people give life, or give people morals, or kind of help people to not be evil people. But then again, you got the other side as well. It's a very complex ideal, but just it's simply saying that I think I kind of empathize with the concept of being raised in a certain type of faith, and then kind of going the atheist route, but not quite, but and becoming a little bit jaded by the entire system as well. I empathize, and I think I identify with that.
Or my own real life experience has been, and so I've been spending a lot of time talking to those people, and I've seen people fans of mine, I had viewers messaging me on Discord, why are you saying this? Do you want to talk? Do you want to I'm willing to talk to you, and let's try to work this out, right? We love you. And I scrolled up on their messages, and these are people that messaged me in 2016, 2017, 2018, I love your content, I love your stream, right. I love you, right? And now they get to hear this from me. And I just feel like such a stupid, belligerent fucking asshole.
Damn.
I really do. And I'm sorry. I really am. I think that it's extremely fair to criticize religious extremism.
Sure.
And I think that it's extremely unfair to categorize everybody in part of that group as religious extremists.
Yes.
I think it is. And I'm really sorry for that.
That's the distinction. That's the distinction that I don't think that was caught, feeling like a lot of people weren't realizing. I think some people still don't even agree with this based on some of the responses I've seen in my last video and what I've been seeing on the internet. But that's the one I think is one of the big things that even people who supported Asmongold kind of didn't sit well with when they were seeing what he said about that specific, point of view.
I've just been a fucking dick. And It's weird because yesterday I woke up and I didn't know if I was going to get suspended or not, and I planned on streaming and everything, and I actually got a text message from one of my mods. They said, "Oh, I heard about the suspension, I'm sorry." And I was like, I remember I was driving, and you'd think that your heart rate would go up, but if anything, I felt more relaxed. I felt like finally I have a moment to just take a step back and breathe and think for myself and just stop. Just get out of my own head.
The Reddit
and
brain
I
rot?
spent a long time just writing basically a list of all of these things that I think that I should be doing with my life. And this is going to be kind of the second part, by the way, of the video. Comments that I made were pretty much about religious extremism. I think it's bad, but I've categorized a lot of people in that way that was unfair. It's wrong for me to have done that.
Okay.
I said something that was bad. I should not have said that. I should have chosen my words more carefully. I didn't do that. I doubled down on it. I shouldn't have. I'm sorry. That's pretty much, I was a fucking asshole. I was a piece of shit. I'm sorry.
I think it's authentic, y'all. I don't sense any kind of, no. I don't sense any kind of trickery or foolery. I'm like, okay, none of my spider senses are tingling here. Okay, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's fine. But dude seems pretty genuine. Seems like he's talking straight from the chest, from the heart. And he means it. If you guys disagree, that's completely fine. But I mean, again, when it comes to apology, that's up to you guys. He doesn't need to apologize to me. It's not something that I need to forgive him about. But just kind of looking at so far the first 8 minutes of this video, I don't sense any kind of tomfoolery. I think he's trying to be sincere, and I actually think he's trying to give a genuine apology. And so far, I feel like it's pretty good so far.
I don't know what else to say. And so, actually, I do know what else to say. I don't like making apologies because I think words don't matter. But sure. I do think changed actions and changed behaviors do. And so you can take my apology as hopefully better content. And if you're not seeing that, I want you to hold me accountable. Hopefully this time I won't be stupid enough to ignore it. Mouth is pretty dry. Anyway, so the second part about this is that I want to talk a little bit about my life, my personal life, etc. And kind of some of the points that I think that I've kind of gone through to get here. So the main thing is that for the past, like, I would say like 10 years or so, if you look at my life like this, I would have said 10 years ago or maybe 8 years ago, streaming was like this, right? YouTube was like this. And now I would say that my life and streaming are basically the exact same size. And what I mean by that is that streaming is my entire life. Doing this is my entire existence. And I think that the process of that has been extremely unhealthy for me. And I think that what it's done is that it's allowed me to become such a one-dimensional person that I'm not even a person anymore. It's like in Dark Souls, I'm going hollow or something. And I think about like all of the, you know, like I made a list of all of the things that I'm not doing in my life that I should be doing. And I was writing it down and I'm like, you know, fucking like, I'm just going and going and going. I'm like, oh my God, I think it'd be shorter if I transcribed the Bible. Like, this is insane.
Man, what he's saying is so real, right? Because, I mean, even if you don't use his example where he just basically 24/7 does the exact same thing almost every single freaking day, right? You become a product of your environment. Like if you keep consuming, and then like splurging out the same information you splurge, it's like McDonald's. In his case, you can see it like in his room and stuff like how it is. But like if you keep consuming McDonald's every day, and then that's it, you will feel like garbage. And I guess he's kind of saying in a way where he keeps consuming garbage and then he keeps speaking out garbage. And now I think what he's also trying to communicate is that he doesn't have enough diversity when it comes to life. And the lack of diversity of life is giving him blind spots, is what I feel like he's trying to communicate here, is that he's not living enough life. He's stuck in this small bubble, thinking that this small bubble is his entire life, when he realizes maybe if he makes the bubble a little bit smaller again and experiences more of life, then when he comes back into that bubble, he can come more as a human being and not just, you know, Asmongold, you know, the reviewer, the the Reddit brain rot. Essentially that. I see what he's saying. Like, I think I understand exactly what he's saying, and I feel it.
Like, like, whenever I have everything written down line for line, it's like, oh my God, I'm ruining my life. I've been existing, and I want to, at a certain point, actually try to live my life. And I don't think that I've been doing that. And so what am I going to do? How am I going to do that differently? And what does that mean for my stream, etc.? I think that I'm going to cut down a little bit on streaming quite as much. And I think I'm also going to cut down... This is going to sound like, I hope I can say this in the right way. I feel like the main times that I laugh on my stream nowadays are when I'm laughing at other people. And I look back on videos that I did from 2020, 2016, and 17, and yeah, I've always been an asshole, but holy shit, I've been way more of an asshole. It's insane. And it's a night and day difference. And I've had, again, everybody in the world telling me this, including my own dad, and I've just ignored them. And finally, it's like, you know what? Maybe I'm an asshole. Maybe this is too far. Maybe I need a course correction, which is why I think that like getting suspended in this, I hope that it's one of the best things that's ever happened to me. And I don't know whether that's going to be true, but I'm going to try to do things differently and make sure to live up to that reality.
I don't know if you guys are watching this, if you guys are Asmongold viewers, supporters, haters, whatever. But just objectively, again, speaking to you guys objectively, this feels like a pretty sincere reflection of himself. Is it damage control? Maybe, sure. But I do believe that everyone needs the ability to change, right? If you don't give people any room to grow or change or evolve or be better people, then there is no point of apologizing. There's no point of being sorry. There's no point of self-reflection, right? It's just like, well, screw it. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm going to do because no one's going to ever, you know, change their minds about me. I don't hate this video whatsoever. And again, I'm just saying again, what I am feeling so far from the energy that he's spewing out here for the past 11 minutes is I do sense some sincerity, a lot of sincerity in his voice. I don't think he's lying, and I think he does want to live a better life, not just for himself, but for the people that he feels like he's impacted as well. He thinks that he's an asshole, and maybe a lot of you guys like that about him, but maybe he's starting not to like that about himself. And I think that is a good thing to realize when you look back at yourself. And sometimes when you look back at your prior self from 5, 6, 7 years ago, you're like, what happened, bro? Why am I so mean? Why am I so mean-spirited? Why am I so angry? Why am I so hateful? Why am I so frustrated? How did I get to this point? I think a lot of people reach those points where they become jaded. Yeah, I empathize. Again, I know it's crazy to say after all of these things that have been said about him, but I'm being completely just frank and honest with you guys. I do empathize with what he's saying right now.
And so what are those things that I'm going to be doing differently? The first thing is that I think I'm going to try. I've been very much trying to maintain a consistent schedule with my stream, and I will continue to do that. I want to get up and go to bed at relatively the same time. I want to live a normal life, and also I want to spend maybe a little bit less time streaming, and I want to spend more time creating my own videos and doing my own things and spending time on things that I really enjoy, and basically just expanding my existence as a person. I think that ever since I started OTK and I got involved with that, and then we had other Starforge and Mad Mushroom and Mythic and everything, honestly, it's been too much for me to handle. It's been completely too much for me to handle, and I've been losing my mind dealing with it, and I try to hide it the best I can because I try to do the best, right? I try to do my best. It doesn't matter how hard it gets. You just keep going. It doesn't matter, and eventually it does matter. And I think that I've negatively affected a lot of them. And I also don't want to talk about that just in the context of just this recent controversy. I want to talk about this in the context of the last 2 years. I think that I haven't really been able to fulfill my responsibilities as a leader in a lot of cases to them. And I think that I've let a lot of people down. And there have been things that I've done that are positive as well. But I think that one thing this thing has taught me, this whole situation has taught me, it's made me realize, is that I need to get myself in check. I need to get my mind under control. I need to just get my life I need to fix my fucking life. It's insane. I think about it and it's in shambles. Everything about my life is basically fucked.
It's interesting that that's the concept that he has about it. He has a very negative outlook about himself and a negative outlook about his life. I think I might have misspoke in my video. There was 2 takes that I had in my video yesterday or day before or whenever you're watching this video. The first one where we talked about him being canceled, and I think one of them had to do with I said something stupid. It was something dude is on easy mode, he should just coast and play video games, right? He doesn't need to be doing all this crap, right? And what I mean by crap, I meant not giving opinions. Okay, you can give opinions. Okay, I'm not trying to be the guy who's hey, stay in your lane. If you act, you act. If you do sports, you do sports. You should. Not trying to say that, but I think it definitely came off as that. I was more so you don't have to be you don't have to be an asshole about it. You don't have to be asshole Asmongold, which is, I guess, what he's kind of saying is yeah, where did that even come from and how did that even come to be? That isn't something that I'm very proud of. That was kind of so I think the take that I'm trying to say there is that there is no staying in the lane. If you have an opinion, you should have it. I definitely 100% agree with free speech as well. So if you want to speak, okay? And you want to criticize, You got to be careful though, because, we're talking genocide, bro. And some of these things of which free speech people it's not quite the same. You know what I'm trying to say. The other thing that I think I might have said that I don't agree with anymore was the concept of him being rich and just kind of being wealthy and not really caring. I've watched some of his content. I watched a lot of his content in the past, but when I've been watching some of his asshole content, it feels like he has become that person. That person feels is what was shining. Is one of the places where it's the point where you become so successful, so rich, so wealthy. So it doesn't matter because the consequences don't matter. So you just do whatever the hell you want and you just don't care about the people that you run over. Here, it does feel even though he is in that place financially, he is not happy with who he is. He's not happy with his life. The people around him are telling him that, hey, man, you need to be careful with what you're doing. And the self-reflection seems authentic. So maybe the whole concept of him and wealth and everything maybe doesn't apply to him like I thought it does. And I'll take that back. And I'll say that, yeah, I feel like the fact that he thinks that he doesn't feel his life is going the way that he wants and it feels authentic as he's saying it shows that the value that he has when it comes to money and everything isn't as important as he's suggesting. I mean, money is always important, okay? Money is always important until it's not, because when it's not important, it's because you have enough of it, right? So this is, you know how that works. But he does seem like a different type of person. So I'll take back those two statements that I made based off this new information that I'm seeing from Asmongold.
I'm going to take a step back from all of that. I'm going to step away from my leadership position and OTK and Starforge and everything. I want to, and they're fine with that. They respect that, and I want to do this. And I want to do this not only for them, but mainly for myself, so I can be a better version of myself for everyone. And I want to apologize to all you guys, my viewers, that I don't think I've lived up to that. I think that I can be a lot better than what I am right now. And I don't even think that I've been putting in half the effort that I should be in the way that I should be. And I'm sorry. And so my plan is to, when I get unbanned, I'll keep streaming regularly, right? And I want to focus more on trying to do things that are fun, trying to laugh more with people rather than at people. I'll still laugh at people every once in a while, okay?
Like, yeah, we're not going to stop that entirely.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. But it's about a focus, and it's about a tone. I listen to my tone in the clip, and I just sound like such a piece of shit. Really, at the end of the day, I sound like a piece of shit. I sound like a terrible person. And it's just so mean-spirited and callous and just mean. And I don't want to be that person anymore. And I've spent a long time growing up, the time I did, I was an r/atheism enjoyer. I have a very negative opinion of a lot of religions.
Sure.
I've had the experience firsthand of the negative effects of Christianity and
sure.
You know, the way that I view that. And I've always read a lot of very bad things about Islam. And I've made a lot of criticisms of it. I've talked to a lot of people about it. I've heard a lot about it, and I've been like watching things about it, and I've been like hearing people telling me this is the way it is, but I've never seen it. And I actually think that after all this, I think towards the end of next year, I think I'd like to visit the Middle East and see it for myself.
Hello? Oh, no, brother, don't do that. Don't do that. No. Okay, brother. Yo, Asmon. Whoa. I wouldn't do that if I was you, homie. Okay, that's nice that you want to go on a missionary, but hey, man, but you gotta be careful out on them streets, bro, after what you do. So, all right. That was a lot to unpack. Okay, that's a lot to unpack. Let's respond to this whole thing, the atheism and everything, and experiencing versus seeing, right? It's such a real thing, right? I feel like a lot of people are behind the internet all the time talking about what they kind of like see on TV and with the media, you know, you're always being, you know, funneled information on purpose to make you feel experiences and things until you go out, you know, into the world. I mean, everyone has their real world experiences. But like, I guess, how can I put it in a way that I think sometimes I've had crazy negative views when it comes to like people like Christianity sometimes, and some of the things that I've seen in the background and getting older and being like, wow, there's some evil people there. But then occasionally you meet somebody who has these faiths that aren't pushing it on you, that aren't trying to turn you. They're not trying to hurt you. They're being good to you. And you're like, wow, this person's really good. This is a good person. And then the person be like, oh yeah, it's nothing. It's just, I'm just following a faith. This is my faith. This is my religion. And my religion, you know, guides me to be this kind of person that I am. And then you think, well, damn, the people in real life don't all look like what we see on TV, on the news and everything like that. And there's more people like that than you would think. Now, there's a lot of evil. Again, that's the thing. Evil is not, it's not selected to one specific race or religion or group. It's everywhere. It's not biased. That evil is literally ingrained into every aspect of our life. So think of a common group of person that you can think of, every community, everything that you can think of, there will be evil. It has no limits. All right. But it does feel like sometimes there's more evil in more places than others. And I guess that reality check where you start experiencing actual people more and more, and you're like, okay, all right. I think I've been brain rotted way too much by what the networks are showing me. I haven't actually talked to a human being. The lack of being able to communicate to a lot of these people in these different countries takes away a lot of the ability to turn them into humans. I feel like, because I feel like sometimes that we as humans don't even view each other as humans anymore. We demonize each other to the point where we look at each other as animals. The inferior, superior, less than. We are all brother and sisters under the same sun. We are. No matter if we're good or evil, we're all brothers and sisters. Just not all good brothers and sisters, but we are. And looking at each other face to face versus looking down and up and down, I think is a much more healthy outlook, even if you don't agree, even when it's evil. But I think the evil you look down on, but then it turns into some shit. I'm kind of rambling, but I feel what Asmongold is saying is what I'm trying to say.
I want to see it for a historical perspective, right? I would love to go to Istanbul in Turkey. There's no ulterior motive there at all. But it's not just that. I'd love to visit places like Saudi Arabia, Dubai, any of the other places. I mean, the truth is that, and this is the worst thing about what I said, some of the places that I would want to visit, I might not be able to because of the way that they're like just the internal strife, the actual literal wars that are going on, people being literally killed there, and I might not be able to do that. But I want to do it, and I want to see it for myself, because I don't like believing what people tell me, and I think that when I do, I end up being a fool, and I want to see it. I want to see it for myself, and I want to experience it, and I want to live my life, and I'm going to try to, like, I don't know, like, clean up part of my house. I'm going to try to do this, and I'm not going to hire a cleaner. As I said, I was raised Roman Catholic. I view this as a penance, and I think I need to do this for myself. I need to take accountability for bad things that I've done and for letting my life get this out of control, and I don't need a get out of jail free card.
That's what everyone's shocked. Like, all this going on, right? I'm talking about some real serious shit here, right? We're here, real serious shit, right? But this man said, I'm going to clean up my room. Huh? Who it? Ain't no way. Now you know he's serious. Now you know it's real. Now you know my man has done the armchair. That's when you got to sit up. When Asmongold says, all right, I'm about to clean up my room. All right, now you know this is getting real. I'm teasing, I'm joking, because I like to make subjects a little bit more lighthearted, especially ones that can be some cold-hearted as this. But yeah, that's great that, you know, you can clean his room. To be honest, I never really cared about the state of his room. I honestly have not. You can have a stupid-ass messy room if you want, to be honest. You can be the dirtiest dude in the world. I don't really care. It doesn't affect me. I don't have to smell your shit. You know what I'm saying? And people might view you wrong about it, but whatever. If you're happy, you're happy. But if he feels like this is a way for him to kind of, like, you know, clean up his life while also cleaning up his rooms, then hey, good for him. I'm happy that he's making these changes that are going to affect him both externally and internally as well.
I need to do that for myself and for my own closure as well. And I think also I want to live for the idiots out there that, you know, they're you know, like looking to me to be a role model, right? Oh, not a good idea. But there are people that will see that, and they'll think maybe to themselves, maybe I should do the same thing. And if I can do that for one person, well, I've already done it for myself. I've already done a good thing, and so it could only get better.
Bro, see, all right, this is good energy, okay? This is good energy. This is what I feel like I would like to see circulating around communities much more often. This is, I fuck with this. I fuck with this heavily.
Plan is I'm going to try to, like, rethink my life. I have had a lot of people reach out to me. People I would have never expected reach out to me in ways that I never expected. And I understand that, you know, like, I'm still very critical about, you know, religious fundamentalism, right?
That's fine, yeah.
But when you paint with such a broad brush that you just include an entire group of people, you're just being you're being a piece of shit. It's like people said it was racist. I didn't mean it as racist, but if you listen to what I said, it's easy that you could assume that. So easy. And so I'm just a fucking idiot. I'm a fucking moron. I've been an asshole. I think that I've devolved for the last 2 years. I think that I've negatively affected other people too. in ways that I hate. I don't even hate to say this. Like I think I need to say this. I need to say it more. I've negatively affected people in ways that I regret. I think whenever I go back live again, I'll probably talk about that more. And like there's some just different people I kind of want to apologize to, and take accountability for things that I've said and done that have negatively affected other people in ways that were unfair and wrong. And that's what my plan is.
I'm very concerned about it's interesting, man. I do think genuinely, sincerely, he doesn't like the past 2 years of himself and he wants to be a better person. But I do feel like he's created a following that's going to foster the energy that he gave out for the 2 years. And I don't think every single person that followed him for asshole Asmongold is going to want redemption. Asmongold. You know what I'm saying? Like when you spew enough bad energy and hatred for enough, that's the community that you start to foster. And just because now you want to change or you want to redeem, maybe those people who are those kind of energy will continue to fuck with you because you are Asmongold and now they like you for who you are, kind of thing. But there are people who are hateful, bigoted, and racist who will easily rally up for the type of energy that evil asshole Asmongold may have been rallying up. Like that. It's easy for them to attach themselves to somebody like him. That's not everybody. Don't worry. I'm not calling all Asmongold viewers racist or nothing like that. That's just a crazy thing to say. It's quite literally what he's trying to say, where he made the mistake of categorizing a whole bunch of people under one umbrella as well. So I'm not going to go ahead and make the same mistake. But what I'm saying is it's very easy to attach yourself to that person and kind of hide behind that mask. I think I misjudged Asmongold. Maybe I just judged him for what I saw in the moment. Or maybe I judged him for asshole Asmongold, but I feel sincerity in his replies here. I am curious about his switch, and I do support the energy of transforming. I support that. Some people are going to be like, no, screw this guy forever, ban him forever, never let him have a platform forever. I think that if you can take somebody that you might consider to be a bad guy, and maybe they think that they themselves are bad, and I believe in reforming. We are just imperfect human beings, right? And I'm not trying to say that who he was or what he was is good. I'm not saying that, whatever. But I think if someone is trying to make an attempt to be a better person, then we give them that opportunity, right? We hold them accountable. He's even asked to be held accountable. But you give people the opportunity to be better people, I think is a good sentiment to follow around.
That's about it. I want to say that I hope that now, after you've heard what I have to say, that a lot of you all can see kind of why I'm saying that I appreciate this. I really think that this is something I needed, and I hope that this is the next part of the rest of my life. And I want you guys to hold me accountable to that. So if I'm being a fucking asshole again, if I'm being mean, if I'm just being callous, acting like a psychopath, just treating people awfully outside of a WoW raid when they get killed by fire, but really laughing at people's misfortune, try to say, man, just chill the fuck out, stop it. Just stop. And I'm gonna do my best to listen. I spent 2 years ignoring it, and look where it got me. This is not even the tip of the iceberg of the problems in my life. And I want to thank everybody for making me aware that that's the case. And hopefully I can avoid the iceberg, right? And so I want to say that's pretty much about all I've got. I'm sorry for a lot of people I let down, not just with comments like this, but also just with the way I've been doing things in general. I think that you guys deserve a much better version of me than what you've been getting. And I hope that I can live up to that in the future. And I don't even want to think about it in the future, right? As soon as I get unbanned, the best apology is better content, change behavior. And that's what I hope to do. So yeah, anyway guys, I'm just going to focus on myself for a while, try to improve my own life. And there's a lot of things I think, again, I'll probably talk about more whenever I go live again, that are like more kind of, just like kind of in the weeds, like personal stuff. But overall, that's the big picture. That's where I'm at. And so anyway, that's about all I've got. And I'll see you guys soon. I'm going to try to just take this time off to, really kind of fix my shit. So yeah, anyway, guys, That's about it. I'll see you later. Bye.
You know, when it comes to like apology videos, I would say, and usually when it comes to ones that are not like well structured or not pre-planned, or well, obviously he had this planned, but like in terms of just like one take ones, usually they're an absolute shit show mess, like his room. I mean, I feel like there might be some people who aren't, you know, maybe they're skeptical, and that's fine. I feel like this was a good apology, and I'm going to keep that energy too as well, because I do at the end of the day want to believe the best in people. Is there a universe in this one right here when Asmongold is just playing a quick one over everyone, he's just fooling everyone, and he actually maybe, but I don't want that to be the case. I don't want that to be the truth that I follow. I want to believe more so in the better in people than the worse in people, because I think that will make my life better as well. And then for the people who are actually trying to do better, it will allow them to, you know, change. And if he proves us wrong, then he proves us wrong. But I definitely respected this apology, this video, and my plans moving forward. So yeah, I think what's happening here now, and if you can reach to the end of this video, this is probably going to be attached to what I was saying earlier today, because he just dropped this apology video. So it's going to be a big ass chungy wungy. Anyway, that's all I have for this episode of Lay It On Me. You've just been laid. Moral of the story. Jesus Christ. Self-reflection is healthy and good. Sometimes taking a step back and looking at yourself internally and listening to the people outside is good. It's okay to be wrong, right? Like, it's okay to accept that you will not always be right. And it's okay to accept that sometimes our ideals or the way of our lives that we live is not the same for everyone else. And that doesn't make people's opinions facts. And also to go outside and touch grass and talk with people, Palestinians, talk with them and see how they feel. I keep saying this over and over, and I think this was the more, we are brothers and sisters, man. I know it's a nasty world out there, homie. I know it's a nasty world out there, but we can create communities here. And what it seems like he's trying to do there, where people are more equal and more brother and sister than not. We can create that energy. It's not easy, because it's very easy to be hateful and spiteful and mean-spirited, and it's difficult to do what I think he's doing here, and I feel it. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but for now, I'm going to believe that Asmongold is trying to turn a new leaf. So that's how I feel about it. You guys can let me know in the comments and the sections below. I love you guys. I'll catch y'all later. That'll be the end of the Asmongold series for now. I'm sure more people respond about it over time. It's not going to be the end. It's Asmongold, so the guy will be here. But I like it. For Asmongold viewers who are watching this, you guys can let me know how you feel. And let's create peace, homies. Let's stop. All right, peace. No infighting, man. Let's get past this and move forward and create better lives for everyone and be better people for everyone. Because if he's trying to do it, then I wouldn't mind trying to do it as well. Let's keep that energy good. That's all I'm trying to say. All right, I'll catch y'all later. Y'all take it easy. Peace.